Hi everybody, this is Craig from Tactical Inquiries, and we wanted to do a quick special on how to paint your rifles. Everybody sees cool rifles on Instagram, painted, and it's like, man, how do I do that? Well, the first step is you want to buy the right paint. We like using the Rust-Oleum camouflage paint. It has a super matte finish. You don't want something glossy or satin. It's easy to, it reflects light too much. It's easy to pick up under IR with night vision. It reflects IR the wrong way. I mean, it's probably better than anodized aluminum, but do the best you can if you're going to go out and buy spray paint. They offer a range of colors, and then there's some other stuff. Like we found this, I got this Rust-Oleum multicolored textured like sand paint, and it adds a little bit of like grit to it, and that helps like bounce light off in a weird way. So once you have the right paint, you want to get some painter's tape, because there's stuff on rifles you don't want to paint. Stuff I like to tape off includes, obviously, you're going to want to do your optic lenses, markings on your optics for adjustments. If you have a piece of rail that you're not going to paint, like there's going to be a peck up here later, but I want the rail to be nice and clean for mounting that peck in a secure way, so I'm going to tape off this Picatinny rail here, even though the peck isn't on the rifle right now. I like to tape off the QD sling swivel points. I like to tape off the muzzle device, especially anything that you're going to be mounting a suppressor on. I like to tape off rubberized surfaces like this butt pad here. The paint never quite sticks to rubber right, and it's going to rub off immediately. And then I like to tape... We'll do an insert of that.
keep rolling.
And then, I like to tape off the trigger. It's a high wear area. Past that, it's kind of just dealer's choice. You don't really have to worry about paint getting into your ARs. You close the dust cover, you leave the charging handle in. If you don't care about painting your muzzle device because you're not mounting a suppressor, you can just stick cotton balls in there. That works fine. But I like to tape off the muzzle device. And then the rifle's pretty sealed up at that point. You don't really need to worry about paint getting inside of the rifle. I like to stick a magazine in it to protect the mag well. That way you're not getting paint up inside the workings of the rifle. I like to start by practicing on a magazine actually, so our first paint is going to go on a magazine today to get a little bit of a warm-up going. In terms of adding a texture, there's all sorts of crazy camouflage patterns out there. You can use painter's tape and get different patterns online. And I don't like those for the most part because every time you do one, it winds up looking like you're trying to make something look camouflage instead of making it blend in with its environment. The whole point of camouflage is to break up the outline of the rifle or the person or the vehicle or whatever so that it doesn't stand out against its background. So typically with a rifle, what works best is if you freehand it, or what works really well is mesh. Mesh makes a great screen to break up the paint hitting the rifle so that it gets on there in just the right smudged look, so that it's looking good. We got a couple different sizes of mesh here. I just order it off of Amazon. I think this is like a 3mm hole, and this one's a 5mm hole. You don't really need both, just pick your favorite, just guess at it. I got both because I'm being cool, you know? So, once you've made sure you've taped everything off, walk away from it, come back and double check, because you might actually miss something. I've done it before. Obviously, it would be catastrophic if you missed an optic lens and you ruin an Aimpoint T2 or an Elcan or something. Paint thinner does not mix well with those lens coatings in most cases, and it's going to strip it right off. You don't want that. It ruins your clarity. It ruins the notch filter that allows your red dot to shine brightly. Alright everybody, starting out, I like to use a magazine for practice if you're worried about ruining your mags. I mean, don't be. Just tape off the top of it where it goes in the rifle if it's not in the rifle. But you can do it on like a paper plate or a piece of paper even that you're going to throw away. Don't stress it out. The best way to do this is to practice. So, okay, that's the color I thought it was. First part of this is you kind of just want to dust it. And you want to kind of just go across it as you go. You don't want to get like real close and power wash it. It cakes the paint on, it looks too thick, it just looks unnatural. And I've made that mistake plenty. So, paint this first mag. Kind of just going to give it a little spritz. And that might even be a little bit thick, but I think it'll pan out. Kind of hit it from some different angles. And I'm going to let that set up for a minute before we flip it. So, just to play around with different stuff, get this other magazine with some tan maybe. This is kind of something you have to set to your own local area. We're out here in the luscious green tropic Midwest at our secret LARP compound in downtown Detroit. So, I don't know if tan is going to be the best choice. That's more of a desert thing. But we're going to layer other colors on top of this, so that's not necessarily going to be the primary color here when we're done. Alright guys, we're going to do A quick little once over here on the different parts of the rifle to tape off. I know we already covered it, but we're going to do this so that Bill can give some close-ups on what we're actually shooting here, or specifically what we're taping off here. So he's going to follow me with the camera as I pointed out. Rubberized pieces like the pad on the back of the stock. I like to do QD cups. Obviously you want to do your optics. If you have an ACOG or some sort of Trijicon optic that captures sunlight through a fiber optic, make sure you tape the fiber optic or it's not going to work so good. Irons are good to do, obviously. Both the adjustments and the actual iron. Just keeps it nice and clean in there. It might not necessarily hurt it, but it keeps it nice and clean and tight. Muzzle devices, especially ones you're mounting a suppressor on, you don't want to ruin your concentricity. I like to do my triggers because it's going to wear off immediately and it just doesn't feel right on the trigger finger. And obviously you want to do your optic lenses. Double down on the optic lenses, even stuff a couple of cotton balls or some newspaper in there while you're taping it, make sure it's really nice and secure. You do not want to ruin an optic with paint. They're going to laugh at you if you try to RMI that. Then, of course, one other thing. If you have any markings on the rifle that are important to you, like a custom serial number of some sort, maybe an engraving, you're going to want to cover that up too. The paint can always ruin stuff like that. So, we'll make sure that's nice and secure. Yeah, remember, the goal here is to kind of smudge it all together. You want colors that are going to match your environment. So in the Midwest, browns and greens are good. And you don't want to do any specific pattern because guns that look painted camo might be cool. That doesn't really disguise what you're doing here. This is going to do far better in terms of actually camouflaging it because you want it to blend in and smudge against the environment when you're at a distance. Up close, this isn't going to help you. From 10, 20 feet away, oh, hey, cool, that guy's got a gun. Not going to help you as much. But at 100 yards, 200 yards, if you're on a tree line, in the grass somewhere, while you're LARPing, playing airsoft, hanging out with your boys, well then, it might be harder for your boys to find you if they're trying to play sick pranks on you, like give you an ice massage while you do Molly. The stakes have never been higher. I'm going to do some touch-up paint, and I decided to leave the optics on. This is my go-to rifle. And, you know, it's only got a Nightforce Attacker 1-8 and a full power peg on it, so hopefully we don't screw this up. The stakes are high. Is that framed about right? I need Jimmy to come be the cameraman again. I don't want to waste my time, you know.
You get boss.
What's this, brown? That's brown. What's this, green? Wrong. No, it's not green. I don't care. It don't matter. What else matters? Make sure the stock's all the way out. I am a Legomorph, so I keep my stock extended a bunch. I actually think Legomorph is the type of animal a rabbit is.
I'm pretty sure that's a rabbit.
Yeah. That is not the word I wanted. Disregard.
I think you meant ectomorph there, buddy.
Yeah. I'm a living human Gumby doll. As you've probably seen on camera, I forgot to tape off the trigger, so it's going to suck for a couple of days. That's looking downright reasonable. Alright, let's give her a little flippy doodle over to here. Kind of reminds me of like those dudes you'd see with like the Chevy K5 Blazers back in the 90s. And like they were clearly spray painted camo, but it's like whatever, it kind of looks cool. Kinda. Alright, I'm gonna call it. That's enough screwing around. It's gonna wear off anyway, so don't go crazy, guys. Alright. Strange men who have acoustic abilities. Even stranger women who wound up on a YouTube firearm-related video. Make sure you comment and like the video. Leave a comment below with any questions. If we deem you worthy, we might respond. And until next time, make sure you keep hitting that trigger, boys. Either you're shooting or you're a no-shoot.